turbocharged Titans, one built by Toyota's racing division, the other by Volkswagen's precision engineering team. This isn't just a spec sheet battle, this is street war. 2025 GR Corolla or Volkswagen Golf R. All-wheel drive hot hatches built for pure fun and daily drivability with an attitude for days. But which one is better? We've lined them up, pushed them on back roads, and pushed both these cars to the limits. Let's dive into performance, tech, value, and which one deserves a spot on your driveway. Golf R or GR Corolla?
The Golf GTI basically invented the hot hatch segment in the US, and over decades, the Golf R built on that legacy. Refined, powerful, all-wheel drive, it became the grown-ups hot hatch. It's a name that carries legacy, especially in the enthusiast circle. The GR Corolla, that name didn't exist 3 years ago, but in that short time, everyone already knew what it is. It's loud, aggressive, unapologetically raw, and it's a Toyota, so you know it's built to last. For years, people knocked on hot hatches for being front-wheel drive econo boxes with a little extra spice, but these two cars have flipped the script. Both all-wheel drive, both over 300 horsepower, and both feel like they were designed by engineers who actually care about fun, and they better be for about $40,000 or more. You can either get the fancy grown-up Golf R or the new wild kid on the block. Both are very different flavors of fast, but does the GR have what it takes to go up against the big shot in town? Let's stop talking and hear what they sound like.
Toyota just turned up the heat on this all-new, improved 2025 GR Corolla. It is now faster, handles better, and is tuned by the same people that built WRC. Manual or automatic now, 300 horsepower, and a chassis that begs to be pushed. Oh my god, this thing is good. The GR Corolla just got a mid-cycle refresh. On the outside, you get a new front end, a revised front grille, more radiator opening, more cooling space for an extra cooling option, more aerodynamics, deleted fog lights, real hood vents to extract hot air, vents on the side that are actually functional, air ducts, brake ducts, and everything is functional. It is the same 1.6 liter 3-cylinder turbocharged engine, and it sounds absolutely terrific. That blow-up is so good. I love it when it flutters. The engine tuning has been changed, but the parts remain the same. They increased the boost pressure. It now makes 295 pound-feet of torque, which is the exact same as the Golf R, despite its smaller engine. Again, 300 horsepower. Let's downshift here. Actually, let's come to a full stop and do a launch control. And to do a launch, traction half off, sport mode, car and track mode, hold down the paddles, launch ready, and building boost. Okay. Yep, this is pretty damn good. You get to 60 miles per hour in 4.9 seconds. It is quite quick. It's not the most harsh launch, but there's a lot of power when you get up higher in the RPM. Unlike the new Golf R, you can also get it in a 6-speed manual transmission, but brand new for 2025 is this all-new 8-speed torque converter automatic, which isn't just a conventional automatic. I wasn't exactly excited when I first heard that it was going to be automatic, but this GR Sport Shift automatic used in WRC is tested, proven, and designed for motorsport application. It is literally the same speed as the dual clutch transmission you'd find in the Golf R. It is not as sharp, I'd say. You don't get that DSG fart that you do in the Golf R, but it is very fast. It's snappy. It never actually has to hunt for gears. I love this horizontal rev tachometer. Let's slow down a bit. Second gear. Oh my god, this is so good. Downshift, very fast. They use a G-load sensor, and based on your pedal position, it knows when you want to downshift. The extra 2 gears that they added on top for that 8-speed allows Toyota to expand the first few gears to allow you to stay more in the zone when you're on the track. Let's actually put it in manual transmission mode again. I love how it bounces off the rev limiter. It sounds absolutely insane. And that blow off, I just can't get enough of that. The manual option in this car is also really good. I reviewed this in 2023 against the Civic Type R, and it's also a great option, one that you can't get in the Golf R, but I'd have absolutely no issues if the auto was my only choice. The automatic is almost just as exciting as the manual. The suspension has also been changed to improve anti-squat and anti-dive. It is more flat out through the corners, and the weight transfer in the corners has been improved. The spring rate has also been changed, and the rear sway bar is now a little bit smaller for more stability and lower stiffness in the rear, which actually improves how the rear end feels in this car. The rear trailing arm position has been moved. They also added rebound shocks for a more natural, less harsh movement, and that means cornering stability has been improved and it feels good. I think you can actually feel the difference between this and the 2023. It just feels more direct, it feels more controlled and precise. Not by that much though, but something that you will notice. There are a lot of other subtle changes. They even improved everything down to the bolts they use for more rigidity. Subtle changes that dial the car in even further, and this car has only been around for a few years, which is crazy that they've already done so much to make this even better than it already is. The all-wheel drive system is also tweaked slightly. Track mode is a variable setting now. It used to be 50-50, but that meant that there is more understeer when you're powering out of a corner. But now it goes from 60-40 all the way to 30-70 split, which means when you're entering a corner, there can be more power in the front wheels, and when you're exiting, power can get shifted into the back, so it helps you exit that corner a little bit better and reduce that understeer. In normal mode, it is still a 60-40 split, and they got rid of that sport mode for gravel mode, which is a 50-50 split. So now in track mode, it feels more balanced. It doesn't understeer as much. The transfer case, which was previously known to heat up quite a bit, there are now new cooling ducts to get more cold air to the transfer case, which would help a little bit in terms of cooling the transfer case down. Again, you also get that sub-radiator extra cooling option depending on which model Corolla you get, which is something I'd really recommend if you plan on tracking your car a lot. It still comes with a sport mode, a normal mode, and an eco mode. You get a LSD in the front and rear. Brakes still feel very good, and it just rotates you right around the corner so well. You still get that forged carbon roof for lighter weight and a lower center of gravity. Bolster seats in here are a little bit nicer than the Golf R. It hugs you a bit more. They're also suede. You don't get adjustable dampers in the GR Corolla, something that you do get in the Golf R. So you can increase that firmness or softness, but even in this natural position of the dampers, it is still stiffer than the stiffest setting in the Golf R, which I don't mind. For a more engaging driving experience, you are more connected to the road. It is not as edgy as something like the Civic Type R, but it's meant to be very easy and forgiving and a great beginner first track car. It is something that you can grow with, and I absolutely agree because this is so good. It is just a very approachable car, and I absolutely adore it. And this automatic option is so much better than I thought. The Golf R, it's sleek, it's smart, you get a dual clutch transmission, drift mode, and that signature German refinement. But is it too refined to be fun? All right, let's line it up with the GR Corolla next to me. We are in race mode, let's honk it down. And yeah, this Golf R is definitely quite a bit faster than that GR Corolla. You get from 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds. That's a little bit better than the 4.9 seconds you would achieve in the GR Corolla. It is a bit faster in a straight line, and that power comes from a turbocharged EA 888 engine. It is a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, which now makes 328 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque through some new ECU tuning for 2025. But this model isn't the new facelift, so this actually makes a little bit less horsepower than the new one, and it's still faster than the GR. Also, new for 2025 are a few new cosmetic changes and tech changes, but it basically drives the same. The motor is an iron block motor, and it has been around for quite a while with subtle improvements throughout the year that makes it a rock solid motor. It's also great for tuning if that's your thing. The power band in this Golf R does feel a bit better. You get a lot more low end torque that you don't get in that GR because it is a smaller engine, which means you have to work a little bit harder to keep it in that boost range and higher up in RPMs to get all that torque. It's kind of fun that it makes you work for it, but this is just easier to work with. The Golf R engine note also sounds really good. Let's downshift here. The DSG pops sound really nice too. There is a bit more character to the shifts. You also get a little bit of pops and bangs here. It is an 8-speed dual clutch transmission and ripped to the manual because that is no longer offered for the Golf R. Let's do another pull here. Downshift, very fast downshifts. Oh my god, very quick. The steering weight is also nice. There's a little bit more heft to it. It's pretty direct, very responsive. There's also a lot more customizability in here. You get your drive mode, which you can quickly access with this R button on the steering wheel, and it will take you directly to the screen where you can see your comfort, sport, race, drift, and special, Nürburgring mode, and a custom mode. And you can also change how stiff the suspension is. There's a lot more customizability in here, and more customizability for the all-wheel drive and the traction control. Let's just throw it into this turn. Let's see how it handles. Pretty solid. It comes close to the GR Corolla. It isn't as sharp or precise. It isn't as track focused, but it's a great balance of daily drivability. You don't get adjustable dampers in the Corolla, but you do get that here. And even in this harshest setting, it's still softer than what you get in the GR Corolla, which is fair. The GR is more dialed in for the track. The Golf R is more luxurious, but it's still no joke. Brakes are good, turning is sharp, not too much understeer, and just setting out on corner. Yeah, this is a pretty good car too. Damn, those pops as well. You are missing the feedback with the road and the steering that you get from the GR. That car is just a bit more engaging. You also get drift mode, which allows you to oversteer a bit. The all-wheel drive here is more advanced, being able to send torque left and right rather than just front and back. But it's just missing that engagement that the GR has, which that car is a bit quicker around the track, even with less power. The Golf R has more luxury, tack customizability, but the Toyota feels way more raw and track focused. Fuel economy is slightly better in the Golf R as well. You get 25 miles per gallon combined here versus 24 miles per gallon combined in the GRC, or 22 miles per gallon combined if you get the automatic. The R is also a quieter car, it has a smoother ride, and it's more refined. So for daily comfort, it's a win for the R.
When it comes to the exterior design, the Golf R and the GR Corolla takes a very different approach. The Golf R keeps things clean and understated, sleek body lines, a subtle rear spoiler, and the signature blue R accents that hint performance without shouting. It's mature, almost surgical in its precision. GR Corolla, on the other hand, is a street-legal rally car basically. Wide fenders, triple exhaust tips, aggressive vents everywhere, and a stance that looks ready to pounce. It wears its intent on its sleeve, where the Golf R blends in with sharp elegance, but it kind of looks the same as a GTI without the badges, whereas the GR Corolla really stands out. It has a lot of attitude and much more distinguishable from a basic Corolla hatch. So I gotta give it to the GRC for this one. Inside though is a very different story. The Volkswagen is more luxurious, more space, a bit more comfy, especially if you're a taller person. You get powered seats with memory settings, you get ambient lighting here, something that you don't get in the GR Corolla. This again is the pre-facelift model, so you do get a new 12.3-inch screen in the new one, whereas we get the smaller one, and there are a couple new improvements, but it's basically the same. You get a huge sunroof in the Golf R that weighs an extra 80 pounds, but you can delete it for weight savings, whereas the GR, you can get a forged carbon roof, which is a bit more track focused. You still get haptic buttons in the R. I don't love them. You also get your chicken nugget shifter, that's debatable, and then you get your heads-up display wireless charging, Apple CarPlay, pretty decent UI, but it does lag a little bit. You get Harman Kardon speakers, they sound great. Blue stitch seats, digital dashboard, both have excellent safety systems, including your lane keep assist and adaptive cruise control with traffic jam assist and parking sensors in both these cars. Something I really do appreciate. It's very well rounded in the Golf R, and it's definitely the better pick if you want something more luxurious and with a little bit of extra space. Although the Golf R is hands down the more luxurious car, I find the Corolla a bit more usable. No haptic buttons, a volume knob, and an actual shifter. I like to see these things. Red stitching on the seats, you get more bolstering on the seats too. They're a bit more supportive, they don't look as nice and cool, and they're manual. You won't find any powered memory seat here like you would in the VW. You also get a heads-up display here, JBL speakers, a cheaper interior but good enough in terms of quality. The digital dashboard is excellent, wireless charging, wireless Apple CarPlay, less space in here, especially in the back. Headroom and legroom in the Golf R is better. Both have charging ports, and then the trunk on the Golf R is also a bit bigger at 20 cubic feet versus 18 cubic feet in the Corolla. Both have a battery located in the back for better weight distribution as well. The R in general has a little more space and practicality and luxury touches that some would appreciate.
The GR Corolla is the cheapest car in this class based on the starting price. It starts at just under $40,000 in the US and $51K in Canada. And for this fully loaded model, it is about $50K fully loaded in the US and just under $62K in Canada with the sub radiator on this highest trim. The Golf R is about $47,000 in the US and $55K in Canada. It only comes basically in one option. No longer can you get the manual transmission either. So both are roughly the same price depending on how you spec your GR Corolla. Both offer a tremendous amount of value. They are two different cars with two different philosophies. The Golf R is fast, controlled, and effortless. It's a machine that dominates in luxury, practicality, and refinement. The interior is a grade above the Toyota. It's confidence in a tailored suit. And it's a better blend of everything. It's very hard to not pick the Golf R. The GR is absolutely stupid in the very best way. The Golf R on paper is pretty much better in all day-to-day regard, but the GRC is a world of fun in the way that it drives. It's a much more connected car. The suspension is stiffer, it's sharper, it's a bit more fine-tuned for the track. It's rebellious and it defies the norm. Every rev, every corner, every gear shift reminds you why you fell in love with driving in the first place. And if you're okay without the best daily comfort, tech, and practicality of the Golf R, then the GR Corolla might be the one to go for. That is all, guys. Thanks for watching.